welcome back to this Film Smart discussion of Avengers Age of Ultron. In this, we're going to discuss the new movie that just came out yesterday. It's May 2nd, 2015 when this is being filmed. We're going to first discuss the characters, then we're going to get into the story and beyond after the story. The first character we're going to talk about is Iron Man, played by Robert Downey Jr., in case you didn't know, which means you probably live under a rock.
Yep.
He was very good in this movie, but there's going to be one problem I know I had with it. Is, he stopped being Iron Man at the end of Iron Man 3, and then he just jumps right into it, starts cursing up a storm. We'll get into that later. But he comes in to the story, and he's, it's not explained.
Yeah.
But it's kind of explained, but it's not. It's like he's talking about he builds Ultron in order to help the world, build a suit around the world. But then they don't really elaborate on why he's Iron Man exactly. They elaborate on why he doesn't want to be Iron Man anymore, or what he thinks he could do to stop being Iron Man, but they don't get into how he cannot be Iron Man anymore.
Yeah.
And while I'm thinking about it, let's warn, there are going to be some spoilers talked about, especially when we get into certain characters. So that's just a fair warning. But overall, he was good. His suits were so cool. His second suit was really great towards the end of the movie when he's confronting Ultron. I really liked that, and I kind of liked how he almost seemed flippant about what was happening at the beginning. When he saw Ultron, but he really he was tired of fighting. He knows at some point they're going to lose. I mean, with Thanos coming and people like Dormammu with Doctor Strange and things that they can't even comprehend with these magic foes that are Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange are going to open the doors up to, and then aliens and gods Thor opens the world up to, and then terrorists that they open the world up to. They're not going to be able to take on all of this.
Dang. They're going to need the
You can't handle thugs like Kingpin, terrorists, aliens, magic people. You can't handle all of that at the same time. You can handle maybe a couple of them, but you can't do all of that. Eventually you're going to break. So I like how he was realizing that he was, you can't keep this up forever. Nothing lasts forever, which they make a big point of. This movie has a very apocalyptic feel.
It does.
Even when it ends, and it's not the apocalypse didn't happen.
It could have.
It's
was
coming.
Very close, yeah.
But anyway, the next character, Captain America, what'd you think of him?
I think I really liked Captain America in this movie, yeah. I didn't really like him as much as he was in Winter Soldier. He didn't have as much personality in this one, even though I did like the whole running gag on him, the language.
Yeah, after Tony Stark says the S word while he's flying, which I kind of liked how they just jumped right into him cursing. Made me laugh when he got shot, because I think he almost said the S word in the first Avengers movie. Like when the aliens were coming out, I was like, oh! But he didn't say it. This one, he's just like, yeah, I'll say it. Which made me laugh, and then the whole thing. For gosh sake, Captain America, watch your mouth.
Yeah, the comedy of this movie, I think it was really done. Like, it was really well done.
Yeah, it was funny.
And then back to Captain America. I mean, I really did like how much of a leadership role he took with Iron Man.
Yeah, he is the leader.
Yeah, he really has grown. And then that part at the end, when he talks about how the guy who went into that water, that ice froze, is a different guy than who came
75
out.
years ago, he's changed.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't think we should have expected anything different. He's that old now.
And I liked, we're going to talk about these dream sequences. When Scarlet Witch kind of puts hexes on them, his dream sequence going into the, back to the 40s or 50s. I think it must have been the 40s, unless it went into the future if he hadn't frozen.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So maybe it was the 50s or 60s. I thought, maybe, did it say like 1960 in the background? But I feel like
for a second, I thought it said 80s, and I was like, that makes no sense at all. But then,
he would look older. But anyway, I liked his sequence because it was more optimistic than Thor and Black Widows, which we'll get into. Those were depressing.
I liked how that did make sense when Iron Man said to him at the little secret house thing, like, I don't trust a man without a dark side, because his thing, it was kind of creepy, but it wasn't necessarily dark.
Yeah.
It was like him going back to some reunion and then not, like, feeling like, it seemed like he didn't feel like he fit in.
It almost seemed like it was the thing that creeped me out about his past. I mean, they're all kind of creeped me out. I don't know. This is the first time Avengers movie.
Yeah, those horror elements. Yeah. Black Widow's flashback, Scarlet Witch going out looking like a spider.
Thor Ragnarok really messed with me. When he was back in time, when that guy had spilled red wine.
Yeah, and he was like,
everything looked like it was going to fall apart in 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what is going to happen?
those people were just fighting in the background.
You knew Haley Atwell's character, Agent Carter, is like 95, and she,
Yeah.
you know, she's has Alzheimer's or whatever. You think about all that. It's, oh God. But his was more optimistic. But yeah, overall, he's really filling up that leadership role.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how he talked to Anthony Mackie's character about they're still searching for Winter Soldier, which will lead them into Civil War. And there's kind of a diverging thing going on between him and Tony Stark, which I like. So we'll see how that builds up. The next character is Thor. Really, Thor has gotten better. I think he's improved his skill, like when he was shooting lightning, and he looked cooler.
He's more controlled. He's matured. I just say that, like in Thor, he kind of became like a different person at the end of the first Thor movie. How he used to be immature and think like, "Oh, I have all this power. I have to use it." I mean, like now he's more skilled. Yeah, he's agile. He knows what to fight for. He doesn't look for a fight. He just happens to be at the fight.
But throughout the whole movie, I will say, he almost felt like a loner. You know, he kind of was moving around everywhere by himself.
He did kind of pull disappearing acts. Like, he didn't tell anybody where he was going. He didn't confide in any of the other Avengers. I remember at the end when he was talking about how the gem was safe with Vision. Like, you don't trust any of the other Avengers. Clearly, you just said it.
Yeah,
like
it was strange to me. I like his dream sequence, the Hex thing with Scarlet Witch. That made sense. For one, it made sense because she controlled him and whatever.
Yeah.
And it led to, or leads into Thor Ragnarok, obviously. And Infinity War, really, when you think about it. And Idris Elba, he earned that paycheck. I saw on Twitter.
That paycheck.
Yeah, but that scene scared me. That was creepy. He's like, it's the end times. And everything. All they kept talking about was the end times. They talked about it in, like, Ultron talked about it, and then now we're hearing about it in the Nine Realms.
Man.
But it was good. I liked that part. Then not so much when he went to go meet up with Eric Selvig.
Yeah.
That part was whatever.
You thought it was kind of random?
Yeah, it was kind of strange. They kind of just threw that in there. See what we can do.
Let's bring Selvig back, because we're not going to bring any of the other ones back.
We're not going to bring Jane back.
Yeah, so. Pretty sure, they said Natalie Portman was out. But Thor said, like, Jane was the best at it. I was like, what?
So I thought
you sure don't mention her any other time.
Yeah.
And she's not coming back. She literally, like, doesn't like doing the
break
Thor
up
movies. Yeah. Look, she doesn't even like the whole idea of being around the Avengers. Like, whatever, Jane. She's boring. She would be a boring girlfriend.
Yeah.
Find somebody else. Sif. She loves you.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. But I'm excited for Thor Ragnarok, definitely.
Oh yeah, me too. More so now than after The Dark World. Yeah, The Dark World made me think I'm never seeing another Thor movie. This one, I'll definitely see the next Thor movie.
Yeah, hopefully that'll be the one to really knock it out of the park, action-wise and story. Because I thought Thor had good story. Second Thor had better action.
Yeah.
Hopefully this one can pair those two up, because it is a superhero movie.
Mm-hmm.
The next one, Black Widow, she was a lot better in this movie than they really improved on her character in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, but they really even more built upon that by going into her past when Scarlet Witch puts a hex on her, and then they go into the past of her.
Ooh yeah, hers probably bothered me the most.
That was disturbing, because she was trained to be an assassin by Julie Delpy's character. I guess she was a leader, whoever. Mm-hmm. And they kind of had her. I guess it was Russia or wherever, somewhere in Eastern Europe. And she was training to shoot. And I love that shooting, how it showed her shooting, and then it showed the man
with the thing over his head.
And then she was trying to not lose.
She tried to not pass the test. And
they knew she was too good to not pass it. And when she talked about sterilizing, and
her and Bruce, I think they identify, and that's why they're together.
Yeah. So
even though I'm not sure if I like that. I mean, I like it, but I don't.
Her relationship with Bruce didn't bother me as much as I thought I did, or I thought it would, but it was fine. It was, it was just kind of there. It was enough that I didn't think that it needed to be there, and that's what I have some problems with, is that they could have explained some other things better and spent less time on this whole Brutasha thing going on. But we'll get into that, I guess. But I really liked her, and I liked her electric thing.
Yeah, she used it less than I thought she would.
Yeah, I thought she'd use it more.
Because it seemed like it just lit up most of the time. And she was just fighting in the dark. And I was like, okay. I thought you'd be like, just.
I wish they were a little less blue though. They were a little too blue for me. I wish they were a little faded. But I actually kind of wish they were red. But that'd be cool. The next character is Hulk. Since we're talking about the Brutasha thing going on, Hulk is at his weakest in this one. He's really dashed, and they kind of. The thing I liked about the Hulk in the first Avengers is that he wasn't really weak. I mean, he had some weakness, obviously, but they kind of got into the fun of the Hulk. The first Hulk movie with Eric Bana, directed by Ang Lee in 2003, was so I don't know what the word is. It's just kind of slow. It was this guy just moving through and just I'm depressed.
I hated that movie so
much. And then the 2008 Hulk, which I liked, he was still again depressed and whatever. This one, they got into the fun of being the Hulk, the Avengers. And then this one, we're back to that, which is okay. You have to deal with that when you're dealing with a character who's basically a werewolf. You have to deal with that. But he was a little too sulky and too sad. But his relationship with Natasha made sense. It made sense why they would be together, I guess. Not be together, but why
they would
she would control him. I guess. And I that worked for me. But I don't know. There wasn't much fun in their relationship. It was kind of, we can't have kids, but we can live together. Whatever. And that brings us to our next character, which gets us into the spoiler that I was talking about. And actually, before I get to that, real quick on Hulk, I will say the one time I really liked him in this movie, it was not at the end of the movie like last Avengers, but was in the middle with Iron Man when he had his Hulkbuster fight. I love that. And that was really cool to me when he was just kind of hexed by Scarlet Witch again. She made a lot of cool scenes. But she was the catalyst for all that. But
you did. I mean, you got to see a lot of cool things just from her powers. I mean, you got to see number one, Hulk unleashed. I mean, in the other ones, him versus Abomination did like damage, and he was fighting. But this one seemed like he was really like, I have to kill you, Iron Man.
But I have to kill you, or else you're going to kill me.
I was surprised how well prepared Tony Stark was.
Yeah,
like that suit seemed to hold up, and then how the things were always coming back to like repair itself. And,
I was like, when his arm started getting broken, I was like, oh, is the fight over already?
Yeah,
and he just came right back to him. I was like,
oh, and I love that scene, like that thing where Hulk grabbed his arm, but then the thing like sucked his arm in. And, I was like, that was so cool.
Like the way Iron Man lifted himself up instead of like actually getting up, he like flew up. He was like, and then he could fly, and they flew in the buildings. The CGI was amazing in that.
It was a little bit, it was. But when they blew up that building, and he was going right through it, and it was blowing up, I was like, what? I was just thinking, like, what? I really, that's my only reaction was like, I understand it was kind of necessary, but was it?
It brought in kind of that 9/11 imagery.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Man of Steel with Zod and Superman fighting, but it was kind of these two titans going at each other. But anyway, that scene was... I really liked that Hulkbuster scene. And I liked it better a second time than I did the first time, because I've seen the movie twice now. The next character is Hawkeye, and this is really when we get into spoilers. So Hawkeye, we realize he has a family in this one.
Yeah.
Which, like you said, it was kind of shoehorned a little bit. It was kind of strange that they did it. However, I liked it. I liked how it turned out.
I did because it immediately added tons of chapters to his book of life.
Yeah, it made him a lot more interesting.
Because before we were just like, oh yeah, he's an agent, all this. Now we know he has a family. People love him. He goes home to somebody at the end of the day, and
that's something that the others can't say. I mean, Iron Man has Pepper, but that's one person.
Mm-hmm.
That's one woman. This Hawkeye has a wife.
Yeah.
He has kids. He has another kid on the way.
Yeah.
They live on I guess it's a farm. But I liked that a lot. That was interesting, and it's a difference than how Hawkeye is in the comics.
Yeah,
because he kind of lives in an apartment by himself. But this was a totally different Hawkeye, which I liked. I liked. He really has something to lose. If he gets hurt or if they get hurt. Natasha doesn't have anybody. I mean, I guess the Hulk, but what's going to happen to him?
I feel like they're both so lonely.
Yeah, Captain America's extremely lonely.
Yeah, they're sad.
Thor is the only other person I would say is kind of a family and a group of friends around him. And
but even
Iron Man kind of does, but still.
He's kind of split between two worlds now. Thor, he doesn't really know if he's fully loyal to Asgard or fully loyal to Earth.
Yeah.
He can't be to both. But
he has friends here and he has friends, but he doesn't have. But Clint has a family.
Yeah.
Which I really like that. And he was funny in this movie. I loved his speech to Scarlet Witch. He was like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
go out this door,
You are an Avenger.
I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh.
I like that. But he was really cool, and I loved his bow and arrows in this one were cool. He had like sonic ones that blew things, and then he had ones that would blow things. And I love that scene when he's in the woods in the first fight, and Quicksilver's running around, and it's kind of, there's no music or anything. It's just kind of him. It reminded me, it was like a battle scene, like in a war movie, and it was skillfully filmed. It was just like him standing there, and he's going, and he shoots it, and then he grabs it, and then he turns around, and then he gets thrown. I love that scene.
I love the scene when Scarlet Witch is about to like mind control him, and he's like,
yeah,
and she's like, oh. She literally has like a seizure right there. She's like, oh, it hurts.
Yeah, Hawkeye, and I love when he gets those 3 arrows. He's cool. You know, I think all those Hawkeye is lame things are gone.
Well, I mean, he admitted like,
yeah,
all these people have all these powers. I have a bow and arrow.
And he's talking to his wife, Linda Cardellini. He's talking to her, and you know they're talking about how useful he is to the show, or not to the show, to the
to the team,
and
to the show.
I didn't even say movie. Yeah, to the team, and she's like, you know, you are useful to this team. They need you. You're a grounding force to this team.
Yeah, they are a mess. He does seem the most composed out of all of them.
Yeah,
because all the other characters have so much going on. They're so dark and like lonely.
And they're so messed up.
They need so much. Like Tony needs Pepper. If she was gone, he would break completely.
Yeah,
like I really think he would just.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But then you have Hawkeye, and I really liked Hawkeye in this movie. I want to see more from him, and I can't wait to see more from him. Thank God he didn't die.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God, Quicksilver.
No,
but
I can't be happy that he's gone.
No, we'll get into that. Now the next one, Scarlet Witch, great. I love Scarlet Witch. I love seeing her power. She was so powerful, just destroying things. But she didn't know how to use it exactly. But I really liked her.
When Quicksilver dies, and she's just, and her, all the little droids right there, it was almost like they just stopped existing. Not that they were destroyed, they were literally, she wiped them.
They remind me of Jean Grey and
X-Men 3.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine a Phoenix Jean Grey versus like a super powerful Scarlet Witch?
Maybe that could still happen since X-Men does. They do own both of those characters. Or Fox, not X-Men. But yeah, she was great in this, and you know, both her and Quicksilver experimented on, I guess. So they weren't born with any of these powers.
Yeah.
But I like their backstory of how Tony Stark, he didn't blow them up, but
yeah,
people who had his weapons who he sold to, they blew them up. And I thought that was interesting. Or maybe he didn't sell them, but you know, things get tossed around and whatever. I thought that was interesting. That kind of actually built upon the first Iron Man. You know, when he gets his chest blown out by his own weapon, and now he realizes what he's done, and now the demons of his past are coming back to bite him, because you can't just become a superhero all of a sudden and then everything bad that you did in your past has all been expunged. You know, it's still there, and people are still hurting.
Yeah.
So I really liked that. That was cool. And then Quicksilver, he was really good. He was a lot better than I thought he would be.
Yeah, me too.
And I liked how fast he was. You know, when he was that train scene.
Oh yeah, when he was saving all the people, and oh man,
and he would run through those robots. I thought that was awesome, and I liked how they differentiated him from the other Quicksilver. Like he had left a trail when he would run.
Yeah,
which I thought was kind of cool.
I even like the scene where Claw's about to shoot him, and he takes the gun and puts all the bullets, stacks them all, and then when he takes the candy too. I don't know. He has fun with his powers too.
Yeah, he was fast. You know, people are like, "Oh, Quicksilver, he was fast."
Mm-hmm. Flash is faster.
Yeah, but people were saying he was not going to be as fast as the Quicksilver in the other one.
Yeah, he was pretty much as
about
fast.
the same as fast. Like they would do slow motion scenes too.
Yeah, and I like that. It almost in X-Men, I think Avengers explained his speed a little bit better. Like I comprehended it better in Avengers. Like in X-Men, I don't know, they slowed it down too much sometimes. Where it was like, ooh, I mean, they did that for the comedy, but I mean, in Avengers, you didn't get taken out of the scene as much by the slow motion.
Yeah,
which was weird because it kept you in the right pace.
Yeah, I liked that. That was really cool to me. He was different than the last Quicksilver that we've seen, and the Flash that we see on TV. And I liked that he was more. Actually, they were both more tied to the comic books that actual Quicksilver being from Eastern Europe and whatever, even though they aren't the Magneto's children, they're actually more alike to the comics than not alike.
Well, they never said who their father. They said, didn't they just say their parents were killed in the thing?
Yeah.
So they never said who. I was gonna say.
No,
this could be.
No, they're dead. And so is he.
Well, their mother is dead in the comics.
Yeah. I was so sad to see Quicksilver go at the end when he saved Hawkeye and the boy.
Oh yeah.
Because he was so good. I liked Aaron.
I was
Johnson.
so excited, to see West Coast Avengers or like something like that start to form. Because even when he said, "You are an Avenger" to Scarlet Witch when she goes outside, I thought like she would have this kind of bond with Hawkeye because she had that moment with him where she like really decided, I'm a hero. Like I'm a hero now.
Yeah.
I'm not just helping them out. Like I want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of something larger. And like it would just really be cool with Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver and maybe Falcon, somebody else. They all just decided, hey, we're gonna go save this part of the hemisphere. You guys can stay over here.
Yeah. So I was sad to see him go, but again, he's probably not dead. I mean, when's the last time somebody stayed dead who wasn't a villain in these movies?
I say they're gonna resurrect him.
They're gonna bring him back with Thor Ragnarok.
Whew.
But we'll see.
Who could you imagine? Resurrection.
I liked his heroism. But he was fun to watch. Hopefully we'll see him again. He'll be on these new Avengers. War Machine, he wasn't in this film very much, but he was funny at the party scenes.
Yeah.
I liked him there. He was kind of making fun of light up. He's not an Avenger really. I brought the thing to the general.
And that was like the most boring story ever compared to theirs.
That was the most exciting thing he's ever done. But until the end of this movie, when he's blowing up Ultron bots and things, that was so cool to me. It was basically that scene in Iron Man 2 when him and Iron Man were fighting those other robots.
Still such a good scene.
And now he's doing that in the air. And it was so cool. It's like, oh, I didn't say you could leave. Blowing them up from his shoulder. That was so cool. I like. And now, obviously, he's working with the old S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever you want to call this new thing.
Yeah, what is it now? Because Fury's back.
Fury and Maria Hill are back. Maria Hill, I can't wait to see her in Civil War. But her character in Civil War is so cool. But anyway, the War Machine was cool, and I loved that end when he's with the new Avengers with Captain America and Black Widow. And that brings us to there was Falcon, who was at the beginning for a quick moment talking about Winter Soldier, and he's saying, I'm not part of your world. I'm not an Avenger. You are now, buddy. I like how he's on that team now. He got a new suit.
You're so right, because he wasn't an Avenger, but yeah, at the end, now that you just clicked that right in my head, he was with the Avengers. He is.
He's an Avenger now.
Wait, where was War Machine? Was he even there?
What, at the end scene? Yeah, he was there. He was. It was War Machine, Falcon, Vision, Scarlet Witch, Black Widow, and Captain America. That's the 6 of them. That's the new Avengers.
Sure.
That's the other Avengers team. And then, Nick Fury's back. I liked him. That was somebody that was kind of just thrown into the movie.
Yeah, he was.
Whatever.
He seems to show up randomly, or just wherever. Like even in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when Fitz and Simmons are in that pod thing at the bottom of the ocean, then they get out and he just pops up in a helicopter, literally right after he went away from in Winter Soldier. I was just when I was watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I was like,
wasn't he trying to get away from the agent world and now he's back at S.H.I.E.L.D.? Whatever. Yeah. But that's interesting that he was away and now he's back. And but regardless, he was good in the movie. I liked it, and he played a role. When he has to always do something cool when he stabbed that Ultron bot.
And then it's kind of cool how it lingered on it for a second. I was thinking something was going to happen. But I mean,
thought something creepy was going to happen.
Yeah,
or something, but
Ultron was going to be talking through it,
But yeah, I think he did talk right after that. I think they cut to a scene when he was about to die with Scarlet Witch, or die and then go to another body.
That was sad when he actually does die.
Yeah, and then last character we talk about before Ultron is Vision. Vision was really well realized in this movie. I like that he had the same voice actor, Paul Bettany, who does Jarvis. They actually got the same guy to do Vision now, because he's actually an actor. He doesn't just do voices. He was really cool, and I liked how they explained, why he looks like a human is because they got these. They're like organic based. They're like skin and things. It's made to look like that. And like he's so powerful. He's a god. He's a digital god.
That gem, that moment when Ultron is like coming for them and Vision, and they're all shooting at him. Iron Man joins in and Thor. That was the most nerd moment I've ever had in my life. I wanted to be blasting with my Iron Man suit too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Vision was so cool. And then when he's floating in, when they're all fighting the things, when he just kind of floats in. Oh my gosh, that is every scene I like from a flying character. Superman, when he floats in, and it's just like they look up and they see hope, and that hope is Superman. Like now they'll look up and see Vision. And I just think those scenes are so majestic, and it shows off how powerful they are. These people come from above.
And they kind of alluded to him in Scarlet Witch, kind of grabs her.
That is, oh my gosh.
And the way she looks at him when he comes out. And I like when Thor threw him, and I don't know, he's cool.
And he just kind of stabbed him.
His entrance was so awesome when he was coming at Thor, and then Thor threw him, and he just.
And then Thor was like,
the music that was playing, it was so. It was kind of like this, like a Messiah coming or something. Like it reminded me.
It kind of was because without him, they probably wouldn't have won.
But he might not be the Messiah because again, he's like, I don't know whose side I'm on.
He could be. He could turn.
Just because he destroys Ultron does not mean that he's
And then doesn't he have an Infinity Stone in him?
Yeah.
So they did. Number one, they confirmed that the little staff is an Infinity Stone too.
Yeah, Loki's.
So like. That you realize how powerful he is. Like we know he's powerful, but oh my god,
he beholds an Infinity Stone.
Like he'll be if Thanos. Oh my god, Thanos might have to kill him to get it. Like he's literally just gonna.
Yeah, so 2 Infinity Stones are on Earth, and then 2 are with probably I don't know who has the orb. Oh, Guardians have the orb.
Yeah, the Ether.
And then the Aether. Does the Collector have that? I remember they gave it to him at the end of Thor.
Yeah, but.
What happened after that explosion?
It blew up, yeah. But since the whole thing didn't blow up, I doubt that the thing.
He must still have that or something. But
yeah.
And then Ultron. Now, Ultron. One problem I have with him is something that kind of is a problem with a character like this, that he gained an immense amount of information in a matter of seconds, which means they didn't have a lot of time to develop him.
Yeah.
So he kind of just went evil. Mm-hmm. But I love that entrance scene when he was just kind of,
what is this?
Yeah, I love that. That was so cool. And I kind of like that voice. And then you see these pictures of Tony Stark from the old movies, and then you see pictures in history. Like you see a picture of Gandhi and Ronald Reagan.
He literally knows everything.
Yeah, he knows everything. And so I mean, that's what happens when you have a character who learns an immense amount of information faster than anybody would know in a lifetime. So. But he's also a baby because he was just born, So when he gets all of that information now, and he has all of this to do, he kind of has a fight with himself. Do I want to help these people who built me, or do I want to kill them? He knows he wants to destroy the Avengers, but at the other hand, they kind of Tony Stark's like his dad almost. It's kind of And I liked that scene. With them.
Yeah, that scene where he's I'm just gonna break Pa's heart. So didn't he say like if I have to?
Yeah, and then he said when they were like, "Oh, he beat me by 1 second with the omelet joke."
Clearly, you've never made an omelet.
They were both kind of bantering at each other. That was cool to me.
See, I only like probably half of Ultron's comedy. Sometimes it got like I don't know,
like the throw up in your mouth. You didn't.
Yeah. Oh, I cannot physically throw up in my mouth. Okay, like I know 17-year-old girls who say that, but anybody older than that, it's not funny.
Yeah.
Like, you say that on a show on Nick, like Teen Nick. That's Teen Nick comedy.
But I liked how he looked. The CGI for him was good. The way they moved his lips didn't bother me really. It wasn't like Optimus Prime where it's like.
Actually, I think I prefer it rather than just having it be like a weird voice.
I wouldn't want it to just go. Like it should move organically, like his lips curled.
But it was kind of weird though, since he's made out of vibranium, that it was moving.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever, maybe it's some type of like.
Although when he actually got into his regular vibranium suit, like the second suit, those lips didn't move as much.
Oh, they didn't?
At least they didn't move as much to me.
I tell you, sir, have you been juicing? Because you look puffy.
Yeah, he looked like a lobster. Like he was. But
he looked fat. But
when he choked Thor, it was like a lobster claw. But yeah, he was cool, and I love he has some of the best lines. Like he stole it from Tony Stark, but when he's like, what was like, give money to your enemy and your friend, and then you'll see which is which, or something like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And then when he's like, when the dust settles, the only thing on this world will be metal.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool. In the trailer, he said me, but I guess they took out the toe. But yeah, he was good. I liked him. James Spader did a good job because he did motion capture and the voice work. But yeah, he was quite good. I just wish there was more development. Maybe we'll see him again because you can't really kill off Ultron. But they don't have time.
Yeah,
and this is a problem I have with the movie is that they tried to go into Ultron, but they were also setting up Thanos. They were also setting up Thor. He cuts off Claw's arm, which sets up Black Panther because Claw's going to get a thing and he's going to become one of the Black Panther's arch nemesis. It's just he became a second part of his own story, and it's like because they're setting up so many things, and which I had a bit of an issue with. But what did you think of that?
Yeah, I did. I thought they were throwing in a lot of things that really, if were left out, it would have made it a tighter narrative. I mean, I appreciate it because obviously we know that there's this much stuff coming, so they have to give us some foreshadowing, or else it's just random and the story's going to seem kind of clunky. But I mean, you can't blame them. They have so much stuff, and I don't like that they announced everything before this came out. I mean, I knew everything that was going to happen. Not in the movie, but I knew that like this person wouldn't die because they have a movie. I knew this wouldn't happen, and if this person did die, they would come back because they have a movie. So I mean, it's kind of hard to really have true suspense when you know everything.
You knew exactly who Andy Serkis was.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't know about the Black Panther movie,
you knew.
People speculated all the time. Oh, that's Ulysses Claw. As soon as they saw the trailer.
Yeah.
So you can't get away from that. At least when you follow movies like we do, but. It got me excited. I wish they could have built Ultron a little bit more because he's such a cool character, and James Spader did such a good job.
Yeah, he did.
But by the time reviewers have made good points. Like by the time the movie was over, you forgot he was even in it because they were setting up so many other things. Like
that's so true. And I know this is kind of like random, but the mid-credits scene with Thanos that felt really random. Like. In relation to the movie, I know they did like the whole Infinity Stone, but nobody talked about Thanos. I mean, I know none of them really know about him. Thor might, but I felt like it wasn't as connected to the movie as it could have been.
The Thanos scene, it didn't bother me because of Thor, because when he had his visions, he saw the Infinity Gems, and then he was talking about at the end of the movie when they were at the new Avengers base, which I love. I love that new Avengers base. When he was there and he was talking about how. Not Thanos, but he was talking about like a gauntlet or something. Which we remember, the gauntlet was in the first Thor.
Yeah, it was in Asgard.
Yeah, it was, and it had all the gems in it.
I wonder when did he get it, or was he in Asgard? Like he literally just killed a bunch of people.
I have no idea.
I guess I'll do it myself.
But that's how Thor knows about it because, well, for one, he's experienced he's been a part of 3 of those gems. Everything except for the purple one.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the orb or whatever?
The space? Was that space?
Yeah,
gem?
Like that. But
I don't even know.
But
what
he had
did.
a lot to do with the Aether because it almost killed Jane, and then the Tesseract, obviously, and then this one with Vision. So he's been an integral part of all of these gems for the most part. So and the gauntlet was in his home, so he knows about all these things. So it didn't bother me.
I wish Thor would have mentioned Thanos. I don't know, like
they still don't really know. That Thanos scene might have worked better in the Guardians post-credit thing.
And I kind of wish Odin, would have been mentioned. Like, I mean, I feel like, are they gonna drop the whole Loki being Odin thing for a while and then bring it back up in Ragnarok while Thanos is happening?
Yeah, what is happening to Odin right now?
I don't know.
But
they got a lot going on.
They got a lot.
When you have this many directors and writers, I think you can't really keep it like airtight.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. But there was a lot of great action scenes in this movie. I loved the party scene, the banter between all of them. There was some of the best scenes, like the first Avengers, were just them talking. It was cool seeing them interact. These superpowered beings, or just assassins, or just family men, having these conversations with gods and AIs, and it was, I don't know, that was really cool to me. It got me excited for the future. But maybe my favorite scene in the whole movie was the very end, when you see the new Avengers, when you see Captain America and Black Widow come in and saying, assemble. They don't even get to say assemble.
Yeah, Avengers.
But you see Falcon come in with his new suit, which I thought was cool.
Scarlet Witch with her new suit.
Yeah.
And she's actually flying. Oh my gosh.
War Machine puts his thing up, and then you see Vision It's like, this is a powerful team. This is a cool team. I really like this.
Too bad they're gonna get wrecked by Thanos. No matter how powerful you get, he's still more powerful.
But it was so cool to see all these Avengers fighting at the end of the film, and now see another group of Avengers, and then we're going to bring in Black Panther, Doctor Strange, and Miss Marvel, and the Defenders from the Netflix show are eventually going to have to come in at some point, play a role. I mean, there's a lot going on, but I'm excited for the future. This movie, as much as I enjoyed it, it got me more excited for the future than it did for the actual film itself, which is a good or bad thing depending on how you look at it. But what would you say? What would you rate this film? I guess. What would you say would be a number for this movie?
Probably like an 8.8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd probably give it around there, an 8.5, something like that. 8, something like that. I would give it around there. I don't know exactly, but it was a good movie.
Yeah.
And I liked it a lot better the second time. Maybe I'll like it better the third time. I don't know. I'm going to see it a third time, of course. But yeah, it was a good movie, and I would say I would recommend it if you haven't seen it, but you probably have seen it.
Yeah.
If you're watching the spoiler video, I would hope so. Sorry about Quicksilver if you didn't know. But sorry to tell you this, he's going to be back. But you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment, and we'll be back to do more reviews, maybe for Mad Max if we see that. I'll see it. Tomorrowland. Ant-Man. There's another. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about it. Ant-Man's another character they're going to have to bring in. Oh, my gosh. What are they going to do with all this? Wasp?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's a lot.
The Inhumans? Oh, God.
That's all happening, before Infinity War.
Winter Soldier?
Well, is he going to be... I wonder if he is going to be an Avenger.
We have to do a video on this.
Yeah.
We're going to do... What? There we go. We're doing a video on the future of Marvel and DC Cinematic Universe and how it's all going to be tied together. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, okay. All right.
That's what we waited for.
Stay film smart.